It reduced the manual configuration. How? Using API driven automation. Okay. So these are the benefits that you are having using the NDFC that were not inside your DCNM. So it is using the enhanced automation by using the API driven automation techniques. After that, apart from that, enhanced, or I'll say centralized fabric management. Centralized fabric management. So it was a single platform that got launched by Cisco. Okay. And when it got launched, near about in after 2020s only, if I go NDFC release year, you will get to know that it got launched in 2022. You can see that. Before that, it was DCNM. So officially launched as a service with release 12.0. 12.x is a version officially with your NDFC that it got released. So it's a single platform to manage VXLAN because this is the most complex operation that we need to perform. VPC is easy even if you do it manually. VXLAN is the only configuration that was supposed to be very huge as per if the number of devices that are getting increased inside the complete fabric. If the devices are getting scalable, if there are multiple spine devices and hundreds of leaf devices, it was very complex to perform that configuration of the VXLAN. But now, with respect to the NDFC, it was made easier. So, centralized fabric management, a single platform to manage the VXLAN EVPN, okay, to manage the SAN platform and even the IP fabric services. Now, what is this IP fabric that I'll explain in some time? Okay. Third point, third benefit that you get with the NDFC is scalability and flexibility. It support the large scale deployment across multiple site. It is going to support the deployment across multiple sites. Okay. Then deep analytics and AI driven insights, artificial intelligence. Okay. So you can actually perform the real time network monitoring and proactive issue detection. Yeah. It supports the integration with respect to multiple clouds. It supports the integration with respect to Kubernetes. Now, Kubernetes, I'm not sure if you have heard or not, but this is one single major tool and technology with respect to DevOps. Okay. And today, Cisco also is bringing the DevOps. Cisco is bringing the cybersecurity courses. Cisco is bringing the cloud integration. So in all of that, your Kubernetes integration is very much important nowadays. But uh, it's not an easy part to do the integration of the Kubernetes anywhere, even in NDFC or ACI. It is a very tedious job, and that has to take uh, a different path altogether to do that integration. It is not like how you see in the ACI that VMM integration. Okay, Kubernetes is something which is totally different, and it is only being required whenever you are using the ACI as a deployment, and on top of that, you are having certain DevOps services or operations to be done inside the network or in your company. At that particular moment, you will be having the Kubernetes. Okay. So by replacing that DCNM with the NDFC, Cisco has actually modernized the data center network management, okay, with the better visibility and operational efficiency. So it is nothing but it's the next generation automation and the management platform designed for data center networks. Simple as that. Now, what's more in that? So as I told that there are multiple services that are being running. SAN based VXLAN EVPN, then you have the IP fabric. So what is this IP based infrastructure? What is this IP fabrics for that? So your NDFC, when we talk about IP fabrics, that means it is using the IP for the communication instead of the traditional layer 2. Okay, instead of the traditional layer 2 switching technologies, it is using the IP based fabrics. That is called as IP fabric. Okay, so it is going to manage the large scale network easily. It will help all the network engineers, it will help you, it will help me, it will help all of us to automate and monitor the large scale IP fabrics network which are being used inside your data centers. That is the meaning of IP fabric. There is not much of the thing in that. Okay. So this is a baseline model that I have explained. Now we will go completely technically inside. Okay. Complete technical we are going to enter and we'll look at certain terminology, certain things out there, what it's being used for. So normally when you are going to deploy, okay, when you are going to download, and even if you have a Cisco account, okay, it does not require for you to have the partnered account or something in order to download the NDFC. First thing, okay, first and foremost, good thing. So if you have a server at home, something like that, you can actually deploy your NDFC. And it can be deployed virtual or physical. That in detail I'll talk later on, that how virtual and how physical it is. But you can deploy it and you can download it. Cisco has made it free for everyone to download without any kind of partnered account requirement. Okay, if you have a Cisco account, you can go log in and go from the software, uh, Cisco software.cisco.com, and you can download it from there. No problem at all. Okay, even I was able to download that. Now, within this, so when you download it and when you deploy your NDFC, okay, I'll talk about virtual because what I have deployed is as a virtual within the ESXi. Okay, you can get the NDFC physically also. Like NDFC is available physically also. Again, that NDFC is nothing but it's a operating system that is going to get deployed onto Cisco UCS chassis, okay, onto a server. If you want to do a bare metal installation, a physical one, you can install it onto a server, but that is very, I believe, or I'll say expensive. Okay, NDFC is really very expensive as a device to deploy. So Cisco has given the VNDs also, that is called as VND, Virtual Nexus Dashboard. Okay. Now, why it has not been given a name VNDFC and why it is being given a name VND, Virtual Nexus Dashboard? Maximum time when you are going to hit with this particular terminology, you will think that why not Fabric Controller included? Why only Virtual Nexus Dashboard? Because the actual software name is ND. Okay. This is the name of the actual software. It is ND. Simple as that. Okay. I can show you as well if I go over here and I'll explain why. So Cisco Nexus dashboard software download. If you go over here, you'll be landed into the Nexus dashboard. Probably no information is being there onto this page. Information is there. Now see, if you see the versions and if you see the images out there, there is a OVA image, there are ISO image as well. I'll prefer that you go with the OVA image that is directly going to load up the NDFC for you. Okay, if you want the image, I can give it to you, but if it is available for everyone, then you can also download it. Okay, it won't be a problem. We all have good internet at our homes. So you can see the name now. Nexus dashboard VM image for app node ND NDDK 9.2.1 9.2.1. Okay. So this is called as Nexus dashboard. So what you are going to install in your machine, in your server probably, will be called as ND Nexus dashboard. Now within that Nexus dashboard, inside the GUI, there are couple of services that are being running. Okay. There are multiple services that are being running over. So the original software that you are going to deploy is ND, and within that you do have certain services that you are running. The very first service is Cisco Nexus Dashboard O Fabric Controller, which you now know as NDFC, and that is something that we are going to work upon. Simple as that. NDFC is going to consolidate the management of multiple. It is going to consolidate, or it is going to club all together. Okay. What? Multiple NXOS, Nexus operating system based switches. And it is going to bring the automation and the monitoring for what? Monitoring for LAN means Ethernet, monitoring for SAN means storage, monitoring for EVPN, VXLAN fabrics. That you can manage up for the SAN, you can manage up for the LAN, you can manage up for the EVPN, VXLAN fabric as well. Okay. So you can simply over there within your NDFC, you can go with an operational mode. You can choose the LAN that is your fabric is a LAN base or a SAN based fabric. Okay. You can discover or work on the existing switches that you are having and leverage, and you can use the benefit of zero touch provisioning. Okay. So I'll discuss this particular terminology over here after some time, this topic called as ZTP. Okay. I'll write it down. ZTP is something that we need to understand. I'll write it down with the pen. This one, zero touch provisioning inside the NDFC. Okay. Everyone heard about this term, POAP, right? Rajita, Manoj sir, Malav sir. Generally, if anyone did the lab onto the Nexus, they might know that there is a term which comes when the device is booting up power on auto provisioning, that sometimes we skip when we do the labs in the VPC or the VXLAN or the multicast. Okay. So power on auto provisioning is something that helps your Nexus device to do, sir. It is used for the automation perspective. It is used as an initial configuration where you can set certain things into the device. So using the POAP and using the ZTP, zero touch provisioning, you can actually discover the switches. Okay, now there are ways to discover the switches. Like there are two to three which are being defined, but we are going to have that optimal way of discovering the switches. If today you have a controller, okay, when we had the ACI controller, understand, when we have the ACI controller, how we were doing the discovery? We were connecting all of the switches all together, and one of the switches primary leaf was connected to the APIC. And after that, DSCP and the other protocols, LLDP protocol, DSCP protocol, were discovering the devices in the fabric, in the ACI fabric, and then DSCP was being used to release the TAP IP pool onto the devices, right? We all know about that concept. How do you think that if I deploy a virtual Nexus dashboard and then I create a Nexus based topology, how do you think how it is going to discover that? What do you think? What should be the appropriate answers for that? Any idea? This is my controller, just like Epic. I want to discover this fabric, which is being running on Nexus operating system. How I'll discover that? And my VND, this is the virtual. So this is being, let's say, connected to any of the server. Any idea? LLDP? Okay. So generally, now see, LLDP chalo. Okay, let's find. Okay. Like Rajita, I have deployed all of my Nexus devices also, that how we did the VXLAN in the uh, virtual fabric. So I have deployed all the images virtually. Okay. So for this, the very optimum solution in order to discover that complete fabric is on the basis of IP addresses. But IP address of which particular interface? It will be your management IP addresses. Okay. Each device, each Nexus device is going to have a management IP address, right? Using that management IP address, and obviously my VND, if my I'm running a network of 150.1.7.0/24, and I have given one IP to the VND, another management IP are being running onto the different Nexus dashboard, Nexus devices, it is going to discover all of them into that. So I need to give the range. I need to give the range when I'm installing that virtual Nexus dashboard fabric controller. In that, I'll be defining that, okay, kindly search this particular range 150.1.7.55 till 75. And between them, whatever the devices are there, which are being assigned with the IP. All those devices will be started getting discovered. And then underlying protocol, whatever LLDPs or different protocols are there, that will also come into the picture. But management IP is the primary one which is being used. Okay. So I'll talk about this ZTP also in the near future. Don't worry. Okay. So your Nexus dashboard, Fabric controller, it takes out or it uses the benefits of your zero touch provisioning, Fabric monitoring, backup, faster provisioning, and even it is going to do the upgrade and much more for all those devices. Now, it includes what type of devices? It doesn't it does not only include your Nexus based devices, it also includes the Catalyst based switches. It also includes your ASR router. It also includes iOS XE XR devices. Okay. And even it is going to include or manage the third party devices as well. Now think how good this product would be to deploy in the production. Okay. So one of that is your NDFC. So it is not going to manage only your devices with respect to NXOS. It will help you out for the SAN based storage as well. It will help you out for the third party devices. It is going to help you out with the Catalyst and the iOS XE and the XR switches or the routers. Okay. Next service that your Nexus dashboard provides is Cisco Nexus dashboard orchestrator, which you might have heard about somewhere, some around. Nexus dashboard orchestrator. So what this is called as NDO. Okay. There is one what ND, Nexus dashboard. It provides NDO, it provides NDFC, and it provides one more, which I'll talk about now in next few minutes. So Nexus Dashboard Orchestrator allows the operators to easily interconnect the fabrics over any routed network, which can be used for data center migration. It can be it can benefit you for the data center migration as well as network extension across the fabrics. Okay. Today, what companies need? Think. Today, organization can also centralize the network and the policy configuration and set up the connectivity at a scalable level, right? So they are using or they can define just not rendering out the configuration which are into the template. Okay, they can also do the integration with your Cisco ACI data center controller, which is the APIC. So you can have the integration using the Cisco Nexus dashboard orchestrator. What is the meaning of orchestrator? Orchestrator related to the automation only. That there is one particular guy who is just waving his wand, and all of the people who are there sitting in front of them will be just playing out all of the different instruments. Okay, just like violin, just like guitar, just like flute or different instrument. This is what happens when we view the shows onto the TV. The same thing over here. Orchestrator is there. There is one controller on which he'll be the one who will be pushing up the policies. He'll be the one who will be creating the policies. He will be the one who will be weighing his wand. And all of the devices has just to follow what the orchestrator have told. So it is used for automation perspective only. It is going to manage up and it is going to do or create the possibility of the several integrations with the ACI. Okay. Integrations with SD-WAN for the enterprise branch and the campus networks as well. That is going to help for the security policies across a different segment of the devices. Okay. Even if you have, I'm not sure if I shown you or not. So I'll show you one thing. Okay. I have opened that link multiple times. This dcappcenter.cisco.com. Okay. In this, there are various products that you can actually integrate with the ACI. You can see that. Starting with the Cisco ACI release 6.1.2 App Center and its application. What it is saying, can no longer be hosted on Cisco APIC. For any queries, feel free to reach out to the us to API center support something something something. Okay. So this is your app center. Just like we do have app store for everything. This is the app center for the ACI where your APIC can be getting integrated with various platform. And one of the platform you do have is Nexus Dashboard Orchestrator. Okay, you can have Nexus Dashboard Insights. Now this is the third thing. This is the third thing. Nexus Dashboard Insights. You can see that, which can be integrated with the ACI. So that was the third product that I was talking over here, which is your Nexus Dashboard Insights. Okay, so you can simply understand in a way that there is one image called as Nexus Dashboard, which you are going to install. After that, within that, there are three options that you are getting, that how you want to work on the product. Do you want the NDFC? Do you want the dashboard orchestrator, or do you want the insights? And you need to download and install that particular, so application within application, you can say that. And you need to download that. And it's a big file. It's not a small file to be deployed. It will take little bit time to get deployed as well as downloaded. Okay, so what is that? With the unprecedented increase in the scale and the complexity of the network, it is challenging to keep up with the demands of the operating a larger network without the aid of intelligent and adaptive tools. Okay. The Nexus dashboard insights for the data centers stand out as the first comprehensive technology solution in the industry developed by Cisco for network operators to manage the operations in their network. To manage, to manage, to maintain, to troubleshoot their network effectively. Simple as that. It is going to give you that complete insight. So the Cisco Nexus dashboard insight for the data center is supported on ACI as well as NXOS DCNM based deployment. It is still using the terminology as DCNM, but DCNM is a former term. Now it is called as NDFC. So it can be deployed in NDFC also. It can be deployed inside your integrate with your ACI as well. Okay, so you can see that dashboard, explore nodes, any kind of alerts, compliances, troubleshooting, chain management. These all the things that you can do within your product, within your technology. So this is called as NDI. Very powerful tool. Yes, sir. Indeed. For troubleshooting, for managing up, for monitoring perspective, that what is happening inside the Nexus devices. Okay. Today you have Fabric Interconnect, which we use inside the UCS. Okay, that is also a part of the Nexus device only for the SAN storage. So it is going to centralize that network operation as well. Okay, it is going to connect your Cisco Nexus dashboard with the Cisco Nexus dashboard inside with your Cisco ACI, which will actually help you to minimize the downtime by turning the hardware and the telemetry. Telemetry is for the information gathering. Okay, real-time information gathering for the insights to identify that any kind of issues are running in the fabric, any potential issues, and that we need to fix everything. Okay, so this is a platform that is going to give those particular things to you automatically. And it is going to minimize the pre and the post upgrade as well for the Nexus devices, and will give you the visibility by having various integration. Now obviously if you need to do the monitoring, okay, what are the possible monitoring tools that you can name over here that you are going to use for the network management? Any idea anyone is using in their offices? SolarWinds. Okay, good. Yeah, one of the tool. Prime. Okay. Anyone heard about this? Splunk. Yes. We have VMware. We do have ServiceNow. We do have Pendrit. Okay, and many more. So it is going to incorporate a set of advanced alerting. So these all integrations are possible, and I'm going to write etc. over here. There are many more which can be uh, integrated. So the inside service as well as the app dynamics are tightly integrated to pinpoint exactly where and when an application issue originated from the network perspective. and it is going to show that okay, there is a critical level of issue that has came, you need to fix that. That all things have happened because of the insights. That is called as network dashboard insights. Okay. There are multiple things that you can do using the NDFC. There are multiple integrations. What are the all the third party integrations as Cisco has proposed that can be integrated for with respect to the NDFC or the Nexus dashboard? So Nexus dashboard actually is providing you an API model. Okay. So whatever that API which I have taught you, it will little bit help you over here also. Right? With a rich suite of services like for the developers to build the applications. And it is also obviously when I'm talking about API model, that means I'm going to talk about the third party integrations as well, because API is being used for two machines to talk to each other. Okay. So it is going to integrate with the services like NDI, NDO. Now, currently, there are certain services that are being supported by this Nexus dashboard. Now, currently, what are there? These are your one is ServiceNow. Okay, you can search each of them, so you will get an idea. It will not be a unheard term for you after that, after today's lecture. So what is ServiceNow? Officially, CRAI platform in the action. American software company supplied a cloud computing platform for management of the automated business workload. Okay, so it is going to use this as the integration. Apart from that, it is going to use the Splunk theme. It is going to use the very famous into the market HashiCorp Terraform. It is going to use the Terraform for the automation perspective as the integration as well. And it is going to get integrate with the Red Hat Ansible as well. I hope you have heard about Ansible. We can have the integration with the Ansible as well, which is again an orchestration tool, a network management, not a network management, yeah, a network management tool. Okay, Ansible is not a programming or a scripting language. Ansible is a tool. Okay. Now that tool can be deployed into CLI, and if you want to the GUI, so for that you need to use another tool that is called Ansible tar in the company. If you are planning to pay it, if you want the free one, you will be deploying Ansible, but it is going to get deployed inside your CLI only. So you have to work on CLI, just like Git, all command line interfaces. Okay. Ansible, in order to write okay the script, or in order to execute the script onto the devices, it creates the playbooks. It helps us to create the playbook. Okay, so in the Python, like I was doing the scripting, okay, I used to say Python script. Similarly, Ansible helps you to create the playbooks, which are nothing but the script only. And inside the playbook, you are going to write the template of the automation inside a language that is called as YAML, yet another markup language. And that is how Ansible is going to give you that flexibility to get connected with certain network devices in order to perform the automation. So for that, the paid tool name is Ansible tar. Now this is the one which is going to provide you the GUI access. Okay? That is now your thing, that how you are going to manage up either with CLI or either GUI. Always GUI is the easy one, but we need to pay for that, and heavy payment. Okay? So now what are the features and the benefits that we are getting inside your Nexus dashboard? So first of all, we will be getting SSO, which is called as single sign on. Everyone use that. Everyone has heard about it. Okay. It is going to give you that seamless user experience while using the NDFC or Insights or even the Orchestrator within one or multiple cluster. So like you can deploy the NDFC, the Nexus dashboard, as a standalone model as well, just like how we are using the APIC as standalone. And you can deploy it in the form of cluster as well. If you want to deploy it in the form of cluster, bare minimum three are being required as a Nexus dashboard to form up a cluster. We'll talk about that cluster also. Okay. Everything. So today I'm giving you all the terminologies overview. Then each one of them providing the Cisco NDI, okay, orchestrator, cluster, deployment, licensing, okay, how the cluster will be formed up, what are the physical Nexus dashboard, what is the virtual Nexus dashboard, complete theory, features, high availability, everything we are going to discuss. Licensing model as well. Yeah. So, single sign on for multiple or a standalone device. By integrating LDAP, you can do the integration with respect to the LDAP. You can do the integration with the radius servers. You can use any kind of remote authentication services as well. Okay, you can perform second MFA, multi-factor authentication. Rather than using the static password, you can have the support of Cisco Duo also. You can use for the MFA. Simple. And now understand the third benefit, which does make sense over here, unified platform. What you are getting is a unified platform, high availability, good infrastructure, all the services are there, Insight is there, Orchestrator is there, Fabric Controller is there for the LAN and the SAN fabric, and all of that you are getting into a single image, right? Into a single software image. Within that, you just need to select and download that. So it is going to minimize the maintenance. Okay, I don't need now three different devices to get deployed. I'm happy with one device to be getting deployed. I can show you that. If I go into my rack, let me just try to uh, connect. Let me check if I'm able to. Now, see, this is how your Nexus dashboard looks like. So over here, don't go with the version 3.0. This is your Nexus dashboard version. I told you that revamp of the DCNM was being done at 12.0 with respect to NDFC. This is just ND. So you will be landing on Nexus dashboard. If I log in into that, admin and the password, which I don't know. Very good. Very well played, Malav. And I'm logging into that. Thank you. So do not show on the login. Get started. See, this is the first time that you are here. Okay, keep exploring to finish. 1 out of 6 step has been done. It is just showing something like that. Now, where you actually got landed is your admin console. And what I said, what I use the term over here, okay, unified platform. It is going to give you that single image. So that single image is something. This is the one. And out of that, you can see that. Like I have installed the Fabric controller. So it got shown over here. Similarly, if I install NDI or NDO, it will be showing up over here. You can just have hop on to from one to another product to have that complete insight. From one GUI itself, you are having that. Okay. So let's say if I go into operate into services, these are the services that is already being installed. One version, 14 pods, 14 containers. This is how it is going to get managed up. And now if you see the version of the NDFC, I think what I said is correct, right? 12.1, the 12.x, that version is for NDFC, not for ND, which I told you in the starting. Okay. Now, if you go within the App Store, so this is the one which I have actually downloaded and installed. Okay. At the first place, I'm just getting the ND, the GUI, Nexus dashboard. After that, I came over here and installed that, which took a lot of time for me because obviously my internet was a little slow at that particular moment. But these are now you can see that possible integrations that you are having. You are having the Nexus dashboard orchestrator. You are having the Nexus dashboard Insight for collecting all the data, alert messages, and everything. You are having the Terraform in order to perform the automation, and you are having the Nexus dashboard connector for the service now as well, which is going to manage. You can see that ND 2.1 version, company Cisco. This is how it is going to look like. Okay, updated. So the Nexus dashboard connector for the ServiceNow brings the ServiceNow incident management capabilities. The solution enables the network operators to manage the lifecycle of their ServiceNow incident, tracking their updates and deliver the service request onto the dashboard. It allows the CRUD operations on any service now. So by this line, I hope now you are able to understand what is CRUD. create, read, update, delete. Basically, API. Four methods, HTTP methods, which I explained you already in the Python lectures when we started with the API. Single pane of glass for the administration of multiple networking fabrics and their related service now incidents. So this is what you have. If you are going to install that, it will take you to a page. Okay, just like this. It is going to take you to another page, another window will get open. You need to log in using your Cisco ID. I think mine is not allowing. This browser is not allowing. Okay, go to the App Store, Nexus dashboard install. See, this is how it opens up another window. And from that particular window, you need to log in with the Cisco ID. And post that, you'll be able to download and install that as well, which is going to take its own sweet time for the product to get completely installed. And then you can use that. So now if I go over here and if I go to the Fabric controller, now this is what I got NDFC. Now I got into NDFC. Okay, got started. Prerequisites, LAN deployment, support the devices that are reachable from the NDFC via either the Nexus dashboard management or data interface. Now, what is management interface? What is services? What are data interface? Everything I'll explain. Okay, I have given you already the terminologies for that. When devices are reachable via the management interface, what I told, when devices are reachable via the management interface, verify that their management network route is added. If devices are reachable via the data interface, a data network route is needed for the POP services, POAP, Power on Auto Provisioning. Based on the LAN device management connectivity settings, two external service IP must be configured for POAP and the event management services. But not we are not following the POAP over here. Although I'll explain that complete concept, but what we are going to do is this particular aspect of reachability or managing up the reachability with the devices. I'm going to use the management interface. I'm going to configure the management interface on each of the device to discover the fabric in particular based upon the LAN device management connectivity. So now done. When deploying the NDI within the cluster refers to something tool. Okay, clusters on the data. These are the different things that are being given over here. And now let's get started with that. Got it. And these are the three services that you are getting within the NDFC. What I told, it works for your SAN. Okay, SAN management for MDS and the Nexus switches. You can see that it's being mentioned over here. Okay, Fabric controller, full LAN functionality in addition to the Fabric discovery. That means LAN functionality will be there. Apart from that, it is going to help you for the Fabric discovery as well. Okay, Fabric discovery, inventory, and topology for the LAN deployment. All of that you can do over here. These are the different services that you can play with within your NDFC. It is going to increase day by day, and whatever we are going to have the operations for that. Intersite integration. You can also do the integration of Cisco Intersite as well. Intersite is for the cloud operation basically. Okay. So these are the prominent features that you are getting out of Cisco Nexus dashboard platform. Okay. Now talking about, let's say, certain day two operations are there. Now, anyone heard about this? What is day one operations or what are day two operations? What do you understand by this term? Any idea? Any idea? Anyone wants to explain that? Day to day operations, right? Day zero is your configuration or deployment. Day zero means, sir, when you actually do the planning, initial planning or preparation. Okay. Like before going with the actual deployment, the first day you plan that this is how my house is going to be or my home is going to be. The next day you will be planning, basically you'll be bringing out the hardware, and that is called as actual deployment or the implementation. So the day zero is always the planning and the preparation, or also I can use a good term over here, design phase. That will give you more clarity. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. So this is your day zero. After that, your day one operations comes into the picture. Now, what day ones include? It includes the initial setup. It is going to include the configuration. It is going to include the deployment, the physical devices deployment of the network infrastructure. So NDFC help you to automate and streamline the day one and the day two operations. Actually, NDFC, it is going to simplify your network management by providing both the day one, which is the deployment, and the day two. Now, day two, what comes under day two? Operations and maintenance. Okay. Day one is going to focus on, let's say you want to design up the fabric. So, fabric design and even the provisioning. Okay. Using the power on auto provisioning or ZTP, zero touch provisioning, all of that comes into the picture. ZTP comes in day one operation. It is going to automatically do the device onboarding and you don't have to worry about any manual configuration to be done. So NDFC is going to help you for that day one operation. It is going to help you for the configuration automation. Okay. It is going to use the templates and the policies to make sure that you are having the consistent settings across all of the devices. It is going to help you with the policy based network segmentation. Like all the traffic will be segmented on the basis of the VLANs, on the basis of the VRF. All that again is going to happen on day one. And even multi site and multi cloud integrations are possible with that. Okay. Multi site and multi cloud integrations are possible. So for the faster deployment, it is going to reduce the manual errors and simplified the uh, infrastructure setup for that. Then you do have the day two operations. Okay. Day two operations, it is going to include the monitoring. It is going to include the T-shoot and the optimization of the devices. The day two operations focus on ongoing management. Any kind of troubleshooting is required. Any kind of performance optimization that you want to do of the complete network. You want to do the monitoring of that complete network, like how the monitoring is being done using the insights. You want to perform, make sure that your network devices are following the best practices and the security policies out there, like what is called as the compliances. So it is behaving under the compliances. We all have compliances in our company. Similarly, devices also needs to follow the compliances. Okay. You can integrate or you can bring it AI based analytics. Analytics in case of any problem occurred within the devices or the configuration. So how you need to fix that within the network. You want to perform the firmware upgrade. Okay. You want to perform the firmware upgrade or the update and even the patch management. Everything can be done on the day two. So these are the operations that you are going to perform on the day two. And Cisco NDFC helps you under day one and day two operations both. Okay. Clear till now? I hope you are able to grab the concept of NDFC, why it came, what was the scenario, how it is helping you in your day to day life or even in your automation or data center operations. Clear everyone? Manoj sir, Rajita, Bala sir, good guys. They're able to grab the things, right? Because it's a completely new technology. Okay. Somewhere, some around, it's not only new for you, it's new for me as well. So down the line, while teaching you, maybe I am also going to have certain new things. Okay. Because it's a new technology, like no one ever worked on that, and not much of in India possibly, not any of or much of the training institutes are including these topics. Okay. And if you go outside, NDFC trainings are happening in like $2, 3, 4 thousand. I'm not sure why. Only independently NDFC. Okay. So not much of the data is being available for that. Okay. Whatever I'll be teaching you is I have learned and I have grabbed all the concepts from the official Cisco only. Okay, so nothing to worry about that. Are we going to do the lab? Yes, sir. So I'll be, uh, obviously, this is something that I have already installed, but I will undergo majoritively tomorrow or day after tomorrow after completing certain theoretical lectures, one or two lectures. I'll be also showing you one time that how we are going to deploy this as a virtual Nexus dashboard. So at the time of deployment, what are the initial configuration? What are data interfaces, service interfaces? What are the IP that needs to be given? Everything I'll explain you. And then we are going to discover the fabric also. And then we are going to do the lab also. Okay. Everything we are going to do in this.